Hello students, welcome back to our science class. My name is Anjali and today we are going to continue our chapter 11. So students, I hope you all are fine, safe and doing good at your places. So very good. So let's begin with our today's class now. So I'm going to show you few images students, few things from our daily life and you have to name those, okay? What is this? Yes, this is a bag, right? A school bag. And what about the second image if I'm going to show you? Yes, these are the books which are kept on the table, right? And what about the student, the third, what it is? Yes, this is a bucket full of water. A bucket is there, right? So now students, if I ask you that, what do you think that for the pushing or you can say the pushing the book from one place to another on that table, pulling that bucket, right? And also taking that bag on our shoulders, some kind of force is involved or not? Yes, definitely force is involved when we lift the bag. Right? When we school bag, what we do with it? We lift it up, right? What we do with the books, we can either lift those books or we can just place it from one point to another, shift, push it. And what about the bucket also? Yes, to lift that bucket, we need to pull it out, right? So very good students. Good example you have given key how the pushing force and force is involved in it. So students, now you have to tell me that how force is involved in that. Yes, very good. In all these cases, we are pushing or pulling out something. So their force is involved. But students, do you think that these are only kept at the places like the school bag is kept, book is kept. So without any touching, without any doing the touching with those bags, they will automatically exert force? No, right? First of all, what we have to do, we have to do something with our hands. We have to lift it with our hands, lift with the school bag with our hands, or if we have to lift the books, we will touch it with our hands, right? So in all these, what we are doing, we are coming in contact with these objects, right? Yes, very good. So students, what do you think that what is the force which here going to involve in this, which we are discussing? Yes, the contact force because something must be coming in contact with this. Very good students. So let's discuss something about the contact force. Now, if you have to define contact force in your own words, students, how will you define it? Yes, we are going to discuss about the concept of contact force. Yes, very good. So you must be saying that generally whenever we have to lift any school bag or we have to lift something, so our body must be come in contact with that object. So there, the type of force involved is the contact force, right? Very good students, good try. And yes, you are correct also that generally to apply a force on an object, your body has to be in contact with the object. As you also, you must be recalling out that we have discussed something related to the interaction, right? Forces are due to the interaction only, right? Yes. So here also when it is coming in the contact, so we are seeing that the type of contact force is involved. So students, what is a contact force? Very good. A force which is exerted by an object or another object only through the physical touching. You can say that that is the contact force because we are physically touching it. So this point you can note down that the physically touching. So that is actually what the contact force is involved in. Right? Very good students. So now if I ask you to give you more examples related to the contact forces, like you can identify actions also from your day-to-day life where you apply the contact force. Yes, very good. When you push something, right? Very good. Pushing. Pushing means what? Pushing a ball, you can say. Pushing a ball. And what else? Example of the contact force? Yes, very good. So to lift a glass from one place to another, that is also contact is involved. Whenever we lift, actually lifting you can classify it as the lifting also. So there, to lift something, we have the contact force. And what else? Yes, when we go like into the market, so what we do, we carry that bag, right? So we have to pull that bag, we have to lift that bag. So vegetables, in which vegetables are kept. So there are also contact forces involved. Yes, very good students. Now let's move ahead. I'm going to show you something. Okay, first of all, students, now it's your time to answer. Okay, this fill in the blank. That to apply a force on an object, your body has to be in dash with the object. So what do you think in the blank? What answer will come? Yes, the body has to be in contact. So I will write the answer over here for the fill up. The answer is contact. Yes, very good students. So now you have to explain this, that what are the contact forces as we have discussed. Yes, very good students. That contact forces are those forces which arises when our body is in contact with that object, and as a result we are applying the force, so it will result into the type of contact force. And few example students, if I ask you to give, yes, contact forces, many examples you can say, pushing a ball, like lifting a glass or lifting of the other objects. These are the few of the examples. So now students, I am going to show you something. Just observe it and tell me that what is happening, okay, in this video. I hope you will enjoy seeing it and you will recall something also. Yes, students, so it's going to play. Yes, students. So what have you observed in this video? Yes, very good. You might have observed that the modes of transport in our earlier days, they were the animals, right? And we are using different animals for different purposes, right? So students, now what you can say here, that the animals are having some kind of strength or power due to which they are able to carry such heavy loads. Like you can think of the donkey also, in the constructions where the donkeys are used basically to just carry the cements and the other kind of thing, right? Bricks also. So there are also forces involved because they are carrying, like here the horse is like, he is pulling the, it is pulling that cart, right? Where the camel also, force is definitely involved, students. So now what do you think, that what kind of force is involved over here also? Yes, very good students. You must be saying that something related to the strength, right? Because here very powerful strength is being required to do such heavy tasks. So now students, we are going to discuss about the muscular force. we are going to discuss about? Yes, muscular force. Very good, students. So now just see that the force resulting due to the action of muscles is known as the muscular force. Here you can say that for the if a man is there which is having the good type of muscles like the very strong muscles. So but the force he is applying which is resulting due to those, that is called the muscular force. And students, it is the muscular force which enables us to perform all activities like the movement or bending of our body, because we can say that we have to perform very difficult tasks also, right? So there are muscular forces only allowing us to perform all those activities if we are strong. So we are involving the movement. Very good, students. So now we can say that how the muscles are involved in performing of all the activities, right? Very good, students. So now you can say that animals which we have seen also make use of muscular force to carry out their physical activities and the other tasks. Like the bullocks, horses, donkeys and camels, they are used to perform various tasks for us. Like, so in all these tasks, what is involved? Basically the muscular force is involved. Like you can say how we have discussed about the bullocks, the horses and the donkeys. So in order to perform the difficult tasks, what these are doing, they are making use of their muscles to perform all those tasks for us. Very good, students. So now let me minimize it a bit. Very good. So now you can see that since muscular force can be applied only when it is contact with an object, right? So it is also called a contact force, students. You must be wondering that why ma'am is not saying it is a contact force. Rather we are coming in the contact, right? Things are coming in the contact. So students, basically muscular force, what it is a type of contact force only. It is a type of contact force. Because what is happening, it can be applied only when we are in contact, right, with that object. When the animals are in contact with the carts, right, the heavy loads, so then you can say that why it is a type of contact force. Very good, students. So now if I ask you to give examples from your daily life where the force results due to the action of muscles, so what examples will you give? You will say, I, for performing every activity we require our muscles. So students, you might have observed your father or your big brother also. What they do, they can easily carry something heavy, like you can say something aate ka katta, right, they have in our home. So they lift it up, right? So there the contact force is also involved and the muscular force will also be involved there. And also heavy boxes, the cartons, they can hold it in their on their shoulders and they can move. Like some ladies also you might have seen in the fields of, where the weight lifting, right? So there also muscular forces involved. They're having the strong muscles, that is why they are able to carry out those heavy tasks, right, in the weight lifting. So these are the few examples we can think of due to the action of muscles. Now students, it's your time to answer it as true or false, that muscular force is a type of contact force. What do you think? Yes, very good. You must be saying that this is a true statement. Very good, students. This is actually a true, because we have discussed that how it is a type of contact force. Just now with the few examples also. Very good, students. So now I am going to show you another video. So for that, first of all, let me zoom out my screen a bit. So students, in this what you have to do, you have to observe something, okay, which I'm actually going to show you now in just few seconds. What is happening? Yes, students, so just wait. Yes, I have got it for you. Yes, you can see over here. I'm going to play this and observe. You have to just observe the activity which is going on there. Okay. Yes, students. So you have seen few examples, right? What is doing? The ball is moving on the ground. We are holding the bottle, and in the skating, ice skating, and the road skating, and there is a caution when in the on the wet floor we should not move. So, students, what do you think that what is making all these things happen? Like the ball suddenly stops, and the things which we hold in our hands, they do not fall down. We are able to hold the things, and also we are able to skate, do the skating on the ground. Yes, students, there is some kind of force involved over here also. Yes. So, students, now we are going to discuss about the force of friction which is involved over here. Now let's discuss about the force of friction. So students, we are able to, the ball is moving on the ground and it suddenly stops after few point, right? So what we can say that something is involved over there that is making that ball stops after a point of time. Yes, so ball stops. Very good, students. So ball stops. We can see that a friction is involved over here, and we are able to just hold this bottle with our hand, right? It do not slip down. It could have been slipped down. Why we are able to hold it with our hands? Yes, we are applying some kind of force over here also. Like we are in contact with this bottle. So there is a friction involved, students. That is a kind of another force which is making our hands and this bottle so that they come intact with each other. So it does not fall down. So there also friction is involved, and you can see in the ice skating or the skating on the wheels. So the, whose movement will be easier? Yes, which are having the wheels. So their students friction is involved. Very good. So what is actually the friction? It is a force responsible for changing the state of motion of objects in all these examples. Right? It is the force between the surface of the ball and the ground that brings the moving ball to the rest. So we have seen that we are having this ball, right? You can see this is the ball, and on this ground we are having any some kind of surface. So when the ball was moving, it comes to this position, right? Yes. So we can say that some kind of force is involved in between the surface and the ball, right? Which is that friction. That is why it is coming to halt after few times. Similarly, friction between water and the boat brings to stop once you stop rowing, right? Very good. And also the force of friction always acts on all the moving objects, and its direction is always opposite to the direction. If the ball is moving in this direction, friction will be in the opposite direction. So here you can mark that if the forces we are having in this direction, so the direction of friction will be opposite to the direction of the force, right? So students, now here what do you think, is it a type of contact force? Yes, it is a type of contact force, students, the friction. Why? Because you can see that if the ball and the ground is coming in contact with each other, right? And the bottle and our hand is coming in contact with each other. So here this is another type of contact forces. Yes, also another example of contact force. So now students, if I ask you that, let me ask you that force of friction is involved when what we are doing, we are rolling out the ball on the ground. So the ball suddenly stops after some time. Yes, it eventually stops after some time. So what is the force involved over there which is making the ball stop? Yes, it It is the friction which is involved there to make that ball stops after a point of time. Very good, students. Good example you have given. And if you have to enlist few more examples where the force of friction is involved, so students, what you will list? You can write your answers in the comment section. Yes, very good, students. So you must be saying that if we just roll out a toy car on the ground, toy car will also move after moving up for a short distance, right? And you might have played in the your childhood also with that car. Yes, very good. So there also friction is involved, which is acting from the opposite direction, students, which is making that car stops. And if a few more examples, if you want to list. Okay. So you can list out, you can see, observe your surroundings, and you can write your answers in the comment section. I will read it out afterwards, and we'll see that what are the examples which we have uh, chosen out, right? So now, students, if you have to take the correct answer, now it's your turn to answer this question. That the force of friction is always acts on all moving objects. Its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion, or both A and B are correct. Yes, you can write your answers. So what do you think, students? Which statement is correct out of these all two? Yes, very good. You must be saying that, ma'am, both these statements are correct. A is also right, B is also right. So both A and B are correct. And why both A and B are correct, students? Yes, because force of friction is always act on the moving objects. Whenever any object is moving, so there is some kind of force which is always opposing that motion, which is the friction. And its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion, as we have discussed. If the force is acting on this direction, so friction will be from the opposite direction. So that is why both A and B are the correct statements. Very good, students. So now what we have discussed in our today's class, students? Yes, so today we have discussed about the contact forces, right? The types of contact forces actually. And what are the types of contact forces which we have discussed? Yes, the muscular force and the force of friction. Very good, students. So now let's summarize our today's class. A force which can be exerted by an object on another object only through physical touching is called a contact force. And students, muscular force is a dash. What are your answers? Yes, force which is exerting due to the action of muscles, and muscular force is the type of, yes, it is a type of contact force. The force of friction always acts on all the moving objects, and its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion. And since the force of action arises due to contact, so it is also known as, yes, it is a contact force, the force of friction. And students, the activity, the following video, what was it related to? Basically, which you have seen the examples. Yes, it was related to the type of contact force, which is the force of friction. Very good, students. So now it's homework time. So your first question is you have to define contact forces. Second is you have to give few examples of contact forces and explain using examples. Third is you have to explain how friction is helpful to us in our daily lives. Okay, just you have to explain this in your notebook. Activity you have to perform is take an empty glass transparent bottle, some amount of rice and funnel and a pencil. Okay, what you have to do, you have to fill the rice in the bottle with the help of the funnel until it is more than half filled. Okay, now insert a pencil very hard. You have to press it till the time you are not able to lift the bottle using the pencil. Okay, try it at your homes, and students, you have to pen down your observations. What do you think regarding the type of force involved, or what observation did you get with this performing the activity? Okay, very good, students. So thank you, that's all for the today's class. We'll meet in the next class.